Good evening, friends. The latest budget was not expected to be path-breaking or populist. It was expected to be practical or reasonable. Despite the low hopes, it has disappointed on various counts. The budget shows no major initiative to tackle the growing current account deficit. Despite the best efforts of the FM to avoid a ratings downgrade, this is one issue that could undo his other measures in the budget. The FM has managed to stick to his revised fiscal deficit estimates by slashing plan expenditure by Rs 74,000 crores, which was partly offset by a rise in non-plan expenditure by about 34,000 crores. Receipts were down by 60,000 crores compared to the original budget estimates. For FY14, the FM has projected a lower growth in non-plan expenditure of about 10.8%, but a higher growth in plan expenditure of about 29%. How far is this likely to be achieved is another question, as implicit in these assumptions for non-plan expenditure are the expectation that there will be no hike in fertilizer subsidy growth. There will be minimal rise in food subsidy, and fuel subsidies will fall by 33% to 67,000 crores. We feel that it is likely that the total cost of subsidies may exceed the government's budgeted 2% of GDP in FY14 compared to 2.6% in FY13. On the receipt side, non-tax revenue is slated to rise by 33% to 1,72,000 crores, mainly contributed by almost doubling of telecom spectrum auction proceeds. Now this is another difficult figure to achieve. The FM has emphasized that budget for FY14 will have one overarching goal of creating opportunities for our youth to acquire education and skills that will get them decent jobs or self-employment. However, the measures to achieve this objective are difficult to pinpoint. Education non-plan expenditure has risen only by 8%, while plan outlay for human resource development is up 17% from the revised estimate, but 7% from the original estimates for FY13. Initiatives to kickstart capital spending have also been feeble. Hence, job creation could remain challenging. Net market borrowings have been kept at Rs 4,84,000 crores for FY14 versus 4,67,000 crores in FY13. As long as the fiscal deficit remains on track, this could result in some lightening of liquidity pressure and mild reduction in interest rates. Divestment target has been kept at 40,000 crores for FY14 plus Rs 14,000 crores to be raised by sale of government's holding in non-government companies. Does it hint at sale of SUUTI's holdings in companies like ITC? The divestment target for FY13 was underachieved by Rs 6,000 crores. To achieve the targets for FY14, one will have to hope for continued buoyancy in our capital markets. Measures for kickstarting capex spending and removing bottlenecks in infra and mining space have at best been feeble. While the reintroduction of investment allowance is welcome, one will also have to keep in mind the overcapacity faced by most industries, the land acquisition issues, power problems, and possibility of further NPAs for banks going forward due to this asset-based tax incentive. The FM has also sounded well to his political bosses by announcing a lot of spends for different constituencies in his last budget before the next elections. Corporate profitability could get impacted a bit by hike in surcharge. The budget is mildly negative for real estate developers due to the TDS and service tax provisions, despite increased deduction for interest payments by home loan seekers. Inflation could remain high due to the fact that service tax collections have been estimated to grow by 36% to 1,80,000 crores, which is a jump of 47,000 crores. Rail and road transport could be one of the contributors. Apart from this, freight hikes could also contribute to high inflation. While one appreciates that a lot of action could happen out of the budget and every demand is not possible to be addressed in this event, the FM could have excited the Indian public and the foreign investors by being a little more bold, radical, and out of the way. This could have revived the business sentiments more than the individual measures that will be taken in a staggered manner later during the year. Given the political climate and the economic conditions, one doubts about the extent to which reforms can be carried out outside the budget ahead of the elections. The latest Q3 GDP numbers are also worrying. The markets have reacted adversely to the budget provisions, even though the global markets have done well over the last 2 days. This is more a reflection of some disappointment over missed opportunity rather than anything else. However, the downward momentum could continue in the near term, with some upward bounces thrown in between, and the indices could stabilize at 5,550 or 18,300 over the next couple of weeks. Thank you.